Today we are talking about those flabby arms. Without a doubt, the question I get asked the most is, what can I do about my flabby arms? They may not put it that way, but that's what they mean. And it's often coming from women of the age group of 50 and over. And truthfully, most of the people who are asking me that want to know how they can get rid of this fat. It's not fat. Most of the people who ask me that question do not have excess fat on their arm. What they do have is loose skin because they've lost muscle tone. If you are self-conscious about your arm moving when you wave, when your arm is in a waving position, your triceps, your biceps are not engaged. Nobody is holding their arm, engaging it, and waving like this. So even I have some arm flab when I wave, but when I engage my arm, there's no flab. A relaxed muscle is still going to be a jiggly, flibbly, blibbly muscle. An engaged muscle is one that is not. Engaged, not engaged. See the difference? So that's the first thing you need to know is you may not even have a flabby arm. You may just not realize that when you wave, your muscles are not engaged. So that's number one. Number two, everybody's always worried about spot reducing in their arms. You can't spot reduce. You can reduce fat overall, but you have no say really in where it's coming from. It's just going to go from where it goes. Most of the people who ask me this question do not have excess fat in their arms. What they have is a loss of muscle mass. And there's actually a term for it. It's called sarcopenia for individuals over the age of 50. You do start to lose additional muscle tone, and that's because we tend to be a little bit less active and we have a lower caloric intake, specifically protein, because of course protein is what spares your muscle. So as we get older, we don't eat as much food, definitely don't eat as much protein, we start to lose some of that muscle, and yeah, we're going to have some loose skin because the area where that muscle used to be, you still have that same amount of skin. So even though you don't have as much muscle, you have that same amount of skin. So sure, it looks flabbier, but it's just excess skin. What you can do, instead of worrying about spot reducing fat, start looking a little bit more at your nutritional intake. Make sure that you are eating enough protein. Remember, the minimum that your body needs, 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So take your weight in pounds, divide it by 2.2, multiply it by 0.8, and you'll get how many grams of protein your body requires just to function. So if you're not even eating that much, no wonder you're losing muscle mass. The other thing you can do, of course, is strength train. Strength training not only strengthens your bones and helps you feel stronger, it's going to help fill those muscles back out a little bit so your arm will be a little less flabby. Unless you're someone who is seriously overweight or was seriously overweight and lost a whole lot of weight, chances are your issue is just more of loss of muscle than it is actual fat. And that loose skin, you can fill it back out. And don't forget, triceps, biceps. So you may have been losing muscle tone on either side. So if you build out those triceps and build out those biceps, you're going to expand the muscle in both directions. You're going to use up more of that skin. So if you want to get rid of the flab, my suggestion is to take up strength training. Make sure that you are lifting enough. Sometimes people get into using like a 2-pound weight and they stay there for 5 years. You can probably handle more than a 2-pound weight. You need to fatigue those muscles. And secondly, make sure that you are getting enough protein. Remember, the bare minimum, 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. That's just to keep you alive. If you are active, you're probably better off around 1 gram per pound of body weight if you are active. If you are an older individual, if you're over the age of 50, probably more the 1 gram per kilogram is going to be a better starting point for you because you don't want to overeat in protein. But yeah, 0.8 grams per kilogram is the bare minimum. So you really want to make sure that you're hitting that and hit the weights. If you want to get rid of the flab, that's the way to do it. That is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Go get yourself a couple dumbbells and do some curls and some tricep extensions. Next thing you know, you're going to be in an arm wrestling competition. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.